Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to Professor Mazli. My name is Muhammad Imran Fahmi bin ANUAR, student number 2019416258, and I am with my partner PUTRI HUSNA FIRZANAH BINTI HELMY, student number 2019488534. In this video, we will be presenting our second assessment for subject EPC 565, Pragmatics in Business and Professional Settings, which is the complaint and response analysis. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, let us get to the complaint. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, complaint is a statement that something is wrong or not satisfactory. For the complaint taken for our analysis, the complaint was written by Sonny Chips, a client of Castle Roofing, a roofing company that was hired to fix the roof of his home. Well, let me read the complaint first. Castle Roofing fully replaced the roof of my home. It has leaked since they finished and is still leaking. They did a horrible job. Castle Roofing subcontracted the job and broke more things than they fixed. Castle Roofing broke my screen door, some inside sheetrock, a stair railing, and an outdoor lights fixture. I had 9 different leaks and the flashing was not replaced. They removed the gutters and did not replace them. We financed the work and Castle Roofing charged us an extra $3,000 for using financing. Currently, Castle Roofing owes us a little under $7,000 in court judgments we won in court. Well, from here, there are face-threatening acts that we can see. Well, what is face-threatening acts? Well, face-threatening acts is an act which challenges the face of a person who takes part in a dialogue or conversation. Face-threatening acts may threaten either the speaker's face or the hearer's face, and they may threaten either positive face or negative face. Positive face is a face-threatening act that threatens the hearer's self-image, which includes expressions negatively evaluating the hearer's positive face. For example, disapproval, criticism, complaints, accusations, contradictions, and also disagreements. Well, negative face, on the other hand, is a face-threatening act that restricts the hearer's personal freedom that include acts predicating a future act of the hearer, speaker towards the hearer, and acts expressing a desire of the speaker towards the hearer of his and her goods. My partner will explain it further in the next slide.
Hi, my name is PUTRI FIRZANAH BINTI HELMY, and I will continue on with the presentation by presenting our findings from the analysis of the complaint that my partner presented just now. So, based on our analysis of the complaint, we found 3 main face-threatening acts from the complaint. So, the first one can be found in this sentence, which reads, "They did a horrible job." So, this statement is actually an on-record face-threatening act without redressive action. And what this means is that it is a bold and direct statement without any intention to try and be polite. So how this statement is a face-threatening act is because it causes Castle Roofing, the company that the reviewer is referring to, it causes their positive face to be threatened most directly because Sonny Chips, the reviewer, accuses the company of doing a horrible job replacing his roof. And so this makes it most likely that other potential customers going through the reviews to have a bad impression on the company, therefore affecting their image. And so the next face-threatening act that we found is from this sentence, which reads, "Currently, Castle Roofing owes us a little under $7,000 in court judgments we won in court." So this statement is actually it actually violates the maxim of quality because it is a lie. Later on, when we go and analyze the reply from this complaint, we find out that Sonny Chips, the reviewer, did not actually win in court because Castle Roofing did, therefore making this statement a lie. And as for being a face-threatening act, This statement is actually an on-record face-threatening act with redressive action, but the redressive action here is actually used to create sarcasm. So the sarcasm can be found in the phrase "a little under $7,000." Using the phrase "a little" is actually a negative politeness strategy that can be used to soften the face-threatening act. However, in this case, $7,000 is obviously a large amount of money. So the point of the reviewer saying "a little" in this sentence is actually to only create sarcasm and probably even to belittle Castle Roofing, the company. And lastly, the last face-threatening act that we found from the complaint is the posting of this bad review. So with the posting of this bad review, the company's negative face is threatened because the company loses its freedom of action and therefore must reply to this complaint in order to avoid losing potential customers if they ever read the review. So that's it for the face-threatening acts that we found in the complaint. Let's move on to the reply of this complaint.
This is the response written by the owner of the Castle Roofing Company. The response goes as this: "This review is factually incorrect. The leaks that your home experienced after installation were coming from the walls of your home, not the roof. The broken items you speak of were already broken, as the home is in great need of repairs far beyond just the roof. After using your leverage of not paying us for the work that we did, we ended up helping you resolve many leaks from your walls. The court finally awarded the judgment against you, as you never paid your bill in full and is a public record for all to see." Well, from here we can see that things are getting heated between these two sides, and the response from this owner is making it worse. But the owner had to do that in order to save the face of his company. But there are better ways to answer the complaint given by Sony Cheats.
So now I will go on and continue our presentation by presenting our findings from the analysis of the response that my partner presented just now. So after analyzing this response and reading this response, we found out that there are many problems in the way that this response was written. Generally speaking, that it lacks in professionalism and does not show any sense of customer care or customer importance, therefore giving us many reasons as to why this reply should be fixed. So out of all the reasons that we found, there are a few that we were able to pinpoint, and the first one being is that it begins with no salutation. Instead of a salutation, it begins with this sentence which reads, "This review is factually incorrect," which is basically the way of the company to try and straight away prove that the customer is wrong. And so when this reply begins with no salutation and straight away goes to prove a customer wrong, it really shows that this company is not a very friendly company. And when potential customers read this reply, it will really not make them want to work with this company. And so the second problem that we found is in this sentence, which reads, "After using your leverage for not paying us for the work we did, we ended up helping you resolve many leaks from your walls." And after reading the sentence, we can get the sense that the tone of language used is to attack the unsatisfied reviewer. And so, especially because this reply is posted publicly for any potential customers to see, it really shows that this company lacks in professionalism and would rather prove a customer wrong instead of trying to meet the customer's needs or trying to understand their concerns. And so when potential customers see this, it really shows that this company lacks in professionalism and will give them the idea that this company is problematic and therefore this sort of language needs to be avoided in a response. And lastly is the perlocutionary effect of this response. After analyzing this response, we can find that the perlocutionary effect of this response is to threaten, because after reading this response, you can assume that the reader would the customer who made the reply would feel threatened or even belittled, especially with this sentence, which reads, "The court finally awarded us the judgment against you as you never paid your bill in full and is a public record for all to see," which basically threatens them that they will show to everyone that they are in the wrong and it is not the company's fault. So those are the three main problems that we found in the response, and the next slide we will show a few strategies that we can implement to try and create a better reply for this company.
So now let's go to the politeness strategies that should be implemented in the response by the owner. Now, in this case, we know that the complaint itself affects the owner's company's reputation, but it is also crucial to answer it properly, as the most important fundamental factor in a successful response to a complaint is to please the customer. The goal here is to keep a customer pleased while protecting the company's reputation or face by responding to any complaints in a timely manner. Well, first strategy that should be implemented is using in-group markers, which is a form of positive politeness. To be more personal with Sony chips, the owner of the castle roofing should add in-group markers, for instance, "Dear Sony chips," in the response to make it sound more professional, formal, and also personal to win the heart of Sony chips, which is their customers, by making them feel included. Second strategy is to apologize, which is a form of negative politeness. As accused by Sony chips in the complaint, Castle Roofing should apologize formally to him, as he is not satisfied with the services given, although it is not entirely Castle Roofing's fault. Apologies here are very crucial to make it not look like an attack to the complainer and simultaneously reduces the face threat to them, which in this case to Sony chips. One way that Castle Roofing can write an apology in the response is, for example, "We sincerely apologize for the inconveniences that you have experienced throughout the execution of our service." Moving on to the next strategy. The third strategy is to seek agreement, which is a form of positive politeness on this complaint matter. By showing empathy on the inconveniences or situation or frustration that the customers have gone through, common ground can be established so that the customers know that the companies know how they also felt. For example, in this response, Castle Roofing should have added, "We understand that this situation is very frustrating to you," so that Sony chips feel like Castle Roofing know how he felt, thus establishing a common ground on this matter. Fourth strategy is to notice, which is also another form of positive politeness. In this situation, Castle Roofing should notice that Sony chips is concerned about the leaks and broken items in his house. For this, Castle Roofing should inform Sony that the leaks and broken items in his house are already in that condition the moment they came to his house to fix the roof, in order to clear all the misunderstandings and concerns written in Sony's complaints. Castle Roofing can start the notice strategy by writing, "We see that you are concerned about the leaks and broken items in your house," and then continue the sentence with explaining about it thoroughly. Last strategy that can be used in the response is be indirect. which is a form of negative politeness. Using this strategy, it can show that Castle Roofing is not guilty for all the problems complained by Sony Chips in a polite way, but instead the condition of the house itself that leads to all the problems. Castle Roofing can use this sentence, for example, the fault is not in our hands for this strategy. That's all from me. Next, my partner will be explaining the improvised version of the response in the next slide. Thank you very much.
So now let's move on to the last section of our presentation, which is the revised response section. In here, which we apply 5 politeness strategies in comparison to the original response. So as you can see here in the slide, on the left is the original response that was written by Castle Roofing, the company, and on the right is the revised response written by us, me, and my partner. So our response reads, "Dear Sony Chips, thank you for taking your time to share this feedback, and we sincerely apologize for the inconveniences that you have experienced throughout the execution of our services. We understand that this situation is very frustrating to you, and it is frustrating to us as well, because our customer satisfaction is our top priority. From your review, we see that you are concerned about the leaks and broken items in your house, but there is nothing that we could do about it as they were already in that condition when we arrived for our services. The fault is not in our hands, but to satisfy you as our customer, we had resolved multiple wall leakings cases for you, though it is not under our service scope and not stated in our verbal agreement. We regret to inform you that the court judgment is finally on our side due to the fact that you did not fully pay your bill. We hope this helps clarify any complications and misunderstandings. Do not hesitate to contact us for further information on this matter. Thank you." So, the first politeness strategy that we implemented is to add in-group markers, which is a positive politeness strategy in which here we wrote, "Dear Sony Chips." So by acknowledging the customer's identity as a person, it shows that this company has the intention to retain a mutual understanding and to establish a provider-consumer relationship. In this case, which is between Castle Roofing, the company, and the reviewer, which is Sony Chips. So here we wrote, "Dear Sony Chips." And so the next politeness strategy that we implemented is to add an apology. And so we added an apology in our revised response because in the original response, the company does not acknowledge or take ownership for the problems that the customer experienced, which might have offended the customer. But with an apology, it indicates that we did not intend to impose any threat on the customer for giving their honest feedback that might contain face-threatening acts, as well as helping the company show professionalism. And so next, the third politeness strategy that we implemented is to seek agreement. Here we wrote, "We understand that this situation is very frustrating to you, and it is very frustrating to us as well because our customer satisfaction is our top priority." This is a way we can get to empathize with the customer in this issue and tell them that we too, as a company, feel frustrated that their customer is unsatisfied with their services. This way, it shows that the company is working just as hard as the customer to resolve this issue that happened between them. And so next is the fourth politeness strategy, which is where we write in the review that we see that you are concerned about the leaks and broken items in your house, which is to notice the customer's concerns or queries and that we intend to answer them. In this case, the customer was concerned about the leaks and broken items in their house after the services of Castle Roofing. So by acknowledging the customer's concerns, it shows that the company is aware and is trying to help them as much as they can. So the last strategy that we implemented is to be indirect. And we implemented this strategy by saying that the fault is not in our hands. Because based on the case and the situation, it turns out the company is not the one that is in fault. But to blatantly point that a customer is wrong or that the customer is in fault can be seen as rude and possibly even threatening to the customer. So by being indirect, we can get the point across that it is not our fault and it is actually their fault, but without pointing any fingers and in a polite way. So in conclusion, there are many ways or politeness strategies companies can implement in how to talk to their or respond to their customers to avoid face-threatening acts so that no customer gets offended and are satisfied with the way they are treated by a company that is with professionalism. So that is all for our presentation on our complaint and response analysis. Thank you for your time and have a great day.